What's up everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be more of a public service type of announcement than anything else. As you might have noticed from the title, I'm talking about theft of Hellcats. Actually, this is more any vehicle that uses a smart fob. I chose to speak specifically about a Hellcat because that's the vehicle I have, but this is actually applicable to any vehicle that uses kind of the smart fob technology, where you don't actually have to have the key in the ignition for the car to start. The fob just has to be in proximity to the vehicle. My profession by trade is information security, and interestingly enough, while thinking about things like people stealing credit card information from cards that are chip based, specifically cards that may have like an RFID type of chip, where somebody can walk past you and basically steal the card information by having an RFID reader. A lot of people now will buy wallets that have the ability to block RFID signals and that kind of stuff that kind of prevents some of that. I never really actually thought about that and how it applies to vehicles, especially the newer vehicles using these types of fobs and that type of technology. So recently I saw a video on YouTube, and if I can find the video I will post a link to it in the description, showing basically the theft of a vehicle. And it wasn't actually a Hellcat, but I've also been seeing lots of information about theft of Hellcats. I belong to a lot of forums online and Facebook groups specific to Hellcats, and there's a lot of news articles posted about these thefts. So in this particular video, you see the individuals walk up to the person's house. One person stands near the garage, and the other person stands near the car, and within about 30 seconds the person at the car basically opens the car door. They put the car into gear, push it out of the driveway so as to not start it and cause maybe somebody in the house might hear it, and they push it out into the street, and then once it's out in the street they then start it and take off. The interesting thing is at no point in time is anything broken on the vehicle. There's no windows broken out. I mean, they're not using something like a Slim Jim to get into the car or anything like that. What they're doing is basically the person that's standing near the garage is using basically an RF signal booster. So they're capturing the signal that's coming from the fob, because these fobs are always emitting a signal that the car can detect when you get close to it. I mean, that's how, at least with the Hellcats, and I'm assuming other cars do it as well, that's how when you walk up to the car, you can literally unlock the car without actually ever touching this fob whatsoever. That's also how the car knows that the fob is within proximity so that the car can start. It's also how the car knows when it goes outside. If you've ever had somebody in your car and you get out while the car is running and you have the key fob on you, when you get back in the car, that person's usually pissed off because the car's been chiming the whole time you've been gone, because the fob left the vehicle while the vehicle's running. So that's how it works. It's using basically an RF signal. The intent is that the signal's very weak. Obviously, I'm sitting probably about 3 feet away from my car right now, and if I were to try to unlock the car door by leaving the fob here and going to the car probably would not unlock. So it's definitely a very weak signal. But the thing is if you can capture that signal, with a RF antenna, and then you can boost that signal, you can actually transmit that signal to a fake fob or another device that mimics a fob. So that's what these thefts. That's how these thefts are occurring. Basically, the one person with the RF antenna is getting as close to the house as possible, and they're trying to capture the signal from the key fob. So it depends on where the fob is located in the house. If they are able to capture the signal from the key fob, they can then boost that signal to a device that their partner is holding near the car, and then at that point the car thinks that the actual key fob is there, so they can open the door. That fob then acts just like it would if it was the real fob that's in the car. They can start it, so forth and so on. So that's, really pretty scary. I mean, we're not talking about, really high tech. I mean, these RF signal boosters can most likely be bought online. The devices that act like the fob, I'm sure they can be bought online. So it's not like you have to be an electrical engineer to make this equipment to be able to do this. So much like what people have been doing with RFID protection in wallets, there are companies that are now selling pouches that you can put your key fobs in. This particular product I bought off of Amazon. I will link to this product in the description of the video as well. This is not the only product. I mean, if you do a search for key fob pouches on Amazon, there are probably dozens, if not hundreds of them. I saw this particular product advertised, I don't know if it was a recommendation on Facebook. I saw a friend had posted it, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, I bought this one. It actually comes with 2 of the pouches together. My intent was only to buy 2 pouches. Unfortunately, I didn't realize this package came with 2, so I actually bought 2 of these. So now I have 4 of these. But that's a whole different problem altogether. But basically, this is pretty much just like a wallet that will protect you from RFID signal stealing. So the way this works is, pretty much you have just a pouch. Within the pouch, you have 2 different compartments. You have, this front compartment here, which is just nothing more than a pouch. You can put money, credit cards, whatever the case may be. And then you have this back pouch, which I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but this back pouch is actually lined with a material specifically designed to block RFID signals. So it's kind of like I don't know if you guys will know what a Faraday cage is, but it's kind of like a Faraday cage. Faraday cages are actually specifically designed to protect electronics from outside interference. So things like an EMP type of thing, where the electronics are inside the Faraday cage. If the EMP was to go off, that piece of electronics would not be damaged from that electromagnetic pulse. So this is kind of the opposite. This is actually keeping the RFID signal from getting outside of this pouch. So once the device is in the pouch, the car is pretty much, well, not the car, but well, technically the car, but the pouch, can't emit the signals beyond, the fob can't emit the signals outside of the pouch. So I've actually already tested these pouches on the car, and they do in fact work. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the camera over by the car so I can show you how this works. Okay, so here we are at the car. You can see the door handle of the car right there. I have the fob right here. So if I were to basically grab the door handle, you can see, or maybe you can hear, hopefully the door did in fact unlock. Let me change the camera angle here. I don't know if you can see the pin of the door lock in there or not, but you did hear it did unlock. So now I'm going to put the fob inside the front pouch, or the front pocket of the pouch, not the lined pocket. So the fob is inside the pouch, but it's inside the non-lined pouch. You can see car still actually unlocked. So I'll go ahead and lock it again. So now I'm going to put the pouch, or the fob, inside the lined pouch of the lined pocket of the pouch. Can't speak today. So now it's completely inside the locked pouch, or the lined pouch. So here we go. So you can see it's not unlocking. No matter how close I get the fob to the car, it's not unlocking. So you can see that pouch is definitely working to block the RFID, or the RF signal from the fob. This car is not detecting that fob is anywhere near it at this point. If I open the pouch, it still doesn't actually unlock. Now if I open the actual inside pocket, it does, because as soon as you open that pocket and break that that seal there where, you know, the signal's being blocked, at that point the car can detect it again. And see, just with that, it won't even lock at this point. But if I open it back up again, now it locks. So you can see that this thing definitely works the way they say it will, in that this inside lined pocket does in fact block the RF signal being sent by the fob. So again, you know, is this going to stop every theft? Of course not. You know, obviously a determined thief with enough time will figure out a way, you know, to steal something. But I mean, you know, this is, you know, something that, like I said, I had never even really thought about from the perspective of RFID and how it could be used to, you know, could be compromised and actually, you know, use all of the convenience that these things are meant to give you and use that against you and make your vehicle basically a sitting duck. So hopefully, you know, you found this video informative, and if you did, please subscribe. Like I said, I'll put a link to this particular product on Amazon in the description. If I can find the video of that theft I was talking about, I will put a link for that in the description as well. Again, this is not the only product like this. You don't have to buy this particular product, but you know, if you want a peace of mind, you know, you should seriously consider getting a pouch. Now, a lot of people, you know, they do make this particular pouch with a key ring actually on it. So you know, if you want to keep your fob in this thing at all times, you can still have your keys. Of course, keeping your fob in here at all times basically, you know, negates the whole purpose of having a smart fob. So I mean, my particular use of this is when I get home at night, my fob will go into this pouch. So that way, you know, I don't have to worry about if I leave the fob someplace in the house and that signal can be boosted, that, you know, theoretically somebody might be able to steal my vehicle. But I don't plan on keeping it in here while I'm actually driving the car or whatever. So again, thanks for watching the video, and please subscribe to the channel.